More and more of our friends start to join the screaming match, and it gets so bad we end up getting kicked out of the restaurant.
Woo.
Just in case anyone wants to know what the screaming match scene looked like, only 5 people out of the 11 were wearing regular clothes, and the others were all in cosplay. All right, we're back with another Reddit Stories of Reddit Story Summer 2016.
Yeah. Happy
2026.
2016. That was a good year.
In some ways, it was. In some ways, it wasn't. I graduated high school, which, as we found out in the last episode, graduating means nothing. So maybe I can't count that.
2016, I think, was the year I went back to college, or maybe, I don't remember.
It was my first year of college. It depends on how long you were there, but.
Yeah, it was. You know what? No, because it was in 2020. Yeah, 2016.
You said
2026. Yeah.
What is going on? I feel like that's a sign that you're old when you start saying the year wrong by like 10 years.
Yeah.
That's, I feel like, an issue.
Back in my day, we didn't have this AI crap.
I know. Next year when I'm 30, when I'm still really young and cool, we've established that as well.
Yeah, look, the first 30 years of childhood are the hardest. Everything after that, it's gravy.
Well, we'll see if in my 30s it stopped being single like I have for the last, I don't know, since 2016, actually.
As long as I've known you anyway.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I love it out here. What can I say? But maybe I can learn something about how to be a good partner from our first story here. Am I the asshole for forwarding my wife an Instagram reel of a recipe after she asked what I want for dinner tomorrow? What does that sound like to you off the bat?
It sounds like something I would do. Like, hey, this looks good. Maybe we try this.
Yeah, well, that's what I would think too. But I didn't read the full story, and I read some of the comments, and the people do not agree with us.
Oh, wow.
My wife asked me what I'd like for dinner tomorrow, and I was thinking about it. I saw this Instagram reel of a yummy looking recipe, and I forwarded it to her, and she said she could try cooking this. Then she went ballistic on me, saying that only she cooks, that I never cook, that she's not a servant whose job is only to cook, and I order her around what to cook. I literally didn't order her around. I didn't say cook this for me or else. She asked for suggestions, so I gave one, and that's it. I told her we can go to a restaurant instead, or we can try cooking it together on the weekend. I literally never ordered her to cook for me or told her. She merely asked for a suggestion, so I gave one. Additional notes, because everyone's asking the same questions and I can't reply to 200 comments. So this is this preview of what the people in the comments are
a pre-update.
I never cook. I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
I do the dishes every day and other chores, but I finish work late, and it's easier for me either to just eat out on weekends or some simple packaged food. I can do pan-fried steak. It was a simple beef noodle recipe that looked yummy. She's done more complex things and similar things before. She likes trying new recipes, and she has even told me she does. And even if I did something wrong, I didn't deserve to get shouted at.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like it went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, it's like, I wonder if it's like some of the ones we say where we don't have enough context. I wonder if there's something that happened in the middle, if he said something or did something that like didn't get put in the post. Or
was there some sort of like lead up until this moment where it's like she has been like dropping the hints like, hey, I want you to be a little more involved. And like she was kind of fishing for him to be like, oh, let me make dinner for you, right?
Yeah, but it's also, this is something that I have a hard time with. I'd say that I have pretty strong social skills, but I think to a point I don't understand subtextually when people are asking me things, because I just assume, because I don't do that. I think that's the real thing. I'm never going to like hint at something to you. I will tell you what I think or feel about it.
That's incredible.
And that's like, well, it's the only way I know how to communicate. I can't, I'm not subtle. I don't know if you've noticed this. It's just the way that I work. So when somebody asks, what do you want for dinner?
You give them an answer.
I will say, how about this? And that to me seems like a totally reasonable response. So then when you get to then she went ballistic, I'm like, to the answer to the question that she asked, like that, this is where I start to be confused. So I feel like there has to have been something that happened in the middle.
No, I agree. I mean, look, I'm just going to say like, I'm an overthinker. And so I try really hard to be like very direct in my communication, but I'm also definitely like, I feel like I see like when people are trying to apply subtext to something that they're saying.
I try.
So, I'm so happy that you are living in this fantasy world where people are able to just ask questions and say what they mean and get responses to questions they ask and answer questions that are asked of them.
Yeah, I do think I live in a fantasy world that way. Yeah, I don't I think, but I don't overthink at all. I feel like enough to make a decision, and that's about it.
See, I think a little bit more, and then maybe a little bit more after that.
I think, therefore I do. And sometimes I do and then think, which is like that's not the
I do that
greatest
too.
trait. Yeah.
I actually feel pretty good about those times.
Well, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that he is not the one cooking. I feel like there is this patriarchal attitude being prescribed onto him by the people in the comments, which I don't think he necessarily expressed. My stepdad cooks. My mom cooks maybe a handful of times a year, but my mom's not a cook. She doesn't like to. This is where I get it from. She doesn't like to. She knows a couple of things. The things that she can make are good, but she's just not a cook. My stepdad likes to cook, and he's very good at it. So he's the one who cooks all the food most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with one of you cooking and the other one not, if it works for you.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like there is at least some sort of shared division of labor, right? If like he's doing the dishes and, cleaning up after dinner, that's a fine thing where, if you're cooking dinner, that's, as somebody who cooks dinner, you never want to do the dishes afterward. No. It's just like, oh, that's the straw that's going to break the camel's back.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, like it's because I come from a family where both people cook, right? Like my mom cooks like regular kinds of dinners, and like she'll cook on holidays, but then like my dad will cook on holidays too, doing like some more grilling and stuff like that. And obviously like my dad cooks for a living too in some ways.
Yeah. In some ways with the restaurant that he owns.
Well, yeah, but it's not like he is cooking every single night at the restaurant. He does that a lot though.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of crazy watching him at the tender age of 63, like moving back and forth on the grill. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think ultimately that's where the issues are coming in. People are like, to me, what do you want for dinner does not automatically mean what do you want me to do for dinner. I think if you're in the context of their relationship where she cooks and he cleans, which I think is a very fair balance, then it kind of does mean that.
Yeah, I get that. I mean,
am I the asshole? Because I kind of think all of these people are being like really way too harsh.
It does seem kind of vicious to me. Because it's like I said, the very first thing I thought of is like, this is the sort of thing that I would do like with my girlfriend. Like it was like just the other night, like last night, she made dinner for me. And I swear like I saw this exact same thing on like an Instagram reel before. It was like white beans in a casserole dish with like grape or cherry tomatoes and like crumbled feta cheese and like a little olive oil, little seasoning, put it in the oven to bake for a little bit, and then we dipped focaccia bread in it.
That sounds really good.
It was delicious. I thought it was a fantastic meal. I told her so. But it was just sort of like, I think that if my girlfriend Mags asked me what I wanted for dinner and I sent her like a yummy looking thing that I saw on Instagram, she'd probably be all about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like whatever upset OP's partner needs to be discussed openly. I'm also big on, like I said, saying what you mean includes having like communication of like what's bothering you.
Yeah.
If the fact that she cooks all of the time does bother her, then she needs to say that rather than...
That should be the first thing that comes up instead of what do you want for dinner?
Yeah. Hey, I don't want to cook. What do you want to do for dinner? Or something like that. Or can we talk about this? I feel like I do a lot of the cooking and I would appreciate it if you could help me. That's a totally fine sentence. And if the answer is no, then like you have to figure out how to get around a situation, Maybe you don't want him to cook. Maybe it's bad and gross.
Yeah, it could easily be bad and gross. If you're bad at cooking, you usually don't want to eat that.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I do like, there's one person in the comments that agrees. Oh, come on. She asked him what he wanted for dinner. There's no evidence here she was hinting at him cooking or resentful of making it. I feel like that's the one that I agree. But everybody else they're the asshole. So let us know what you think about this one in the comments. We got a comment on one of our episodes where somebody said, I disagree with you. And that's totally fine. And I would like to know what you think about this one because I am confused. So
yeah, I always, I'm trying to get better every time I'm doing one of these.
Develop more discernment.
Yeah. You see, if I'm doing something dumb, I want to know about it.
Yeah,
like if I'm obviously missing a big piece of context here, please just let me know.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of situations that are similar to things that's happened with me and my girlfriend, this is going to be a good one. Am I overreacting or is this BS? I
like how that tells us nothing about what the...
I know. We're taking the long road on this one, but I promise we're going to get there.
Okay, I'm strapping in.
I, 39 female, left my job of 8 years to start my own one-woman barbershop.
Hell yeah. That's cool, actually.
No, this is a good one. I really like this one. I have an extensive clientele, about 450 regulars. My boyfriend, 42 male, has not had to pay for one of his haircuts in the last 2 years.
Mm.
That was my decision. He never asked for it. He comes in every 3 weeks without having to schedule his own appointments. He knows I'm scared about how many clients I'll actually retain. As we're told our entire schooling and career to expect to lose about 50% of your clients anytime we change shops. He knows how much I need reviews because I told him how important reviews are early on in my decision to take this leap of faith on myself. Anyhow, Monday was his appointment. I asked him twice to make a review to help me rebuild in case I lose people. The second time I reminded him was on Tuesday. He had an attitude and said, I'll get to it. I've only been open since May 6th. I have 31 5-star reviews.
Oh, wow. That's fast.
That's really good, right?
Good for her.
6 of which came after his appointment. And he still hasn't made a review. I refuse to remind him again, and every day that he hasn't, I feel more and more disrespected.
Okay, see, this is kind of what I'm talking about. I know you've communicated, but you really don't want to sit there and stew on it. It's just going to make things worse.
It sucks to see men with numerous kids, along with sports activities and a wife, to find the time to write detailed reviews, while my boyfriend of 2.5 years with no kids has not made an effort. And I know from past experiences that if I have to bring it up, he'll either say, I just can't do anything right, and huff and puff and completely shut down.
That is so annoying.
So am I overreacting, or is it valid to feel hurt and distant by his lack of support in my financial future?
Oh, I do think it is valid to feel like annoyed. Like you never want to ask somebody to do something more than once,
Yeah.
especially if they agree to do it. You never want to be like, okay, but can you do it though?
Yeah.
So I get that point, but also I feel like, I don't know, like if this is the way that you communicate, that's really not a good sign.
No, I mean, it would be nice if people could just solve their problems with direct communication.
And me, my fantasy world again. Sorry.
The funny thing, and the reason why this is something that I think about, like me and my girlfriend, it's like, because she's a massage therapist. And so I get free massages.
I'm so jealous of that.
And she has, a lot. And I think she had 49 5-star reviews, all 5 stars, a perfect record. And there were times where I was like, because I don't know about you, but when you're like shopping on Amazon, do you take the product that has a lower number but a perfect 5-star review, or the one that's got more reviews but it's like 4.9, 4.7?
More reviews always.
I always joked and said, if you need me to be a 4-star review to like make it a little bit more believable, I'm happy to provide that service. But then when I was thinking about that, I'm like, I actually haven't left a review. And so I actually left a review like right before this podcast.
Oh, good. How sweet. I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
She seems to be wonderful at her job. I haven't had a massage from Max, but she seems to be really great at it.
She's a miracle worker.
And she makes really funny Instagram.
Yeah, go and follow Breathing Space Massage if you want to go and watch like some really funny content. It's good stuff.
It is really entertaining.
But here's the thing. I still have the ability to go and make another account and leave
another review.
Leave a dummy review if we need to make it a little more believable.
Yeah, I feel like that is part of what I would want in a partner too. Like if my partner were like, my invisible partner who doesn't exist, if they were like, can you give me a review for my business? I would be like, yes. And I will use all 5 of my email accounts, and I will write one in a different language, and I will really make it like believable, and I'll give you like more than that, So I do think there is some validity in being mad about him not doing it. And I also hate when people react to criticism with, well, like, F me then, I'm the worst person ever. Why are you even with me? I'm so hopeless. Like, that's such a deflection.
Yeah, you could simply say, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
You could also get help too. Like, this is obviously an inside job. What do you want me to say in my review?
Yes.
Right? If you're getting somebody from your family to leave a review, you're in that unique position where it's like, well, maybe you could say something about the excellent customer service or
something that's not been discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment that it's reasonably priced, right? Something like that. So I think that there are a lot of different avenues to go down here besides, I just can't do anything right. Like,
yeah, I hate that. And there's some people who react to literally everything that way. Like, you turned the thermostat up too high. Oh, I can't do anything right. Like, not everything is a personal attack. And sometimes you can be better if you make other choices. That it's just that simple. But I get it. I don't think you're overreacting. I think you might be inappropriately reacting. Like, I think the reaction maybe should involve another conversation, but I don't think it's over.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't feel like a situation that requires an overreaction.
Yeah.
But no, I think that this is an appropriate reaction. I think that these are valid feelings. Some of my favorite comments here: no review, no free haircut. I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
This is another good one. Not overreacting. He may not have children, but sounds like you have one.
Oh,
devastating.
I saw a TikTok yesterday of this couple. I have seen this woman pop up. She'd been I guess learning how to cook. Her cooking had been very unfortunate, to our last poster's credit. And so I guess she's been learning how to cook, and her husband had been in a couple of the videos, and he just seemed to be really not supportive and not hitting on it. And in one of her posts, I recently rediscovered her because one of her posts, she talked about how they had a really hard day and blah blah blah. Well, she posted yesterday that they're getting a divorce, and a lot of the comments were the same thing. You already have 3 children, you didn't need this force.
Yeah.
Which I feel there's a lot of relationships that people find themselves in, particularly hetero relationships where the woman ends up parenting the man.
Yeah. I mean, sounds like an ex in the making.
It does. You will be a terrible ex-boyfriend just because you were a terrible boyfriend in the first place. Well, speaking of exes, this is, I think, the best segue I've ever had. And that wasn't even planned. Speaking of exes, am I the asshole for humiliating my ex's new girlfriend in front of our friend group?
Whoa.
Yeah. Just take a second. Take it in. I, 22 female, broke up with my boyfriend, 24 male, around 8 months ago. We decided to mutually call it quits and parted ways on pretty good terms, which is good because we just so happen to share a friend group. After a rough patch, I decided to start taking a bit more care of myself, eating better, going to the gym, going to therapy. The shift was pretty evident both in my attitude and in the way that I look. And my friend said I looked much happier and healthier, and I began gaining confidence little by little.
Way to go, OP.
I know. And way to go, because now I'm a huge nerd. I play D&D weekly. I have thousands of hours in Stellaris. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Nice. And most relevant to the story, I like to cosplay as a hobby. Most of my old cosplay involved characters that don't show their face or body too much. Hornet from Hollow Knight, Mono from Little Nightmares, etc. I don't know what any of these people look like, but I guess they were masks. But since I'd been feeling more confident, I decided that for the big con in my city, I'd like to try something different. A friend convinced me to go as Viper and Chamber from Valorant. So for the past 6 months, we've been pouring most of our free time into the cosplays. 3 weeks ago, I sent a picture of me wearing the cosplay to the group chat asking for feedback for the final details. And my ex immediately DM'd me asking to please not wear that cosplay to the con because it might make his new girlfriend uncomfortable. I asked what about it would make her uncomfortable, but he refused to elaborate. I knew he was dating someone new, but I didn't know she was coming with us to the con, and I tried to explain to him that this was the work of months and I couldn't just throw it all away because a girl I never met felt uncomfortable about it. In the end, I wore it to the con and it was a huge success. I tried to keep my distance from the larger chunk of our friend group because my ex and his new girl were there with them, but we did spend a good part of the day with them. Throughout the whole thing, the new girl kept making snide comments at me and laughing whenever I got asked to pose for pictures. Everyone looked uncomfortable, but nobody said anything. After leaving the con to have dinner, though, another friend asked the new girl if she wouldn't like to try cosplay as well. Her answer was, "Why would I need more attention from guys? I already have a boyfriend and I'm not a slut." I snapped and told her to stop acting like a pick-me bitch just because I got attention all day. She started to cry immediately. My ex steps in asking me to apologize. I tell him I'll only do it if she apologizes for the way she's been acting around me all day. More and more of our friends start to join the screaming match, and it gets so bad we end up getting kicked out of the restaurant.
Woo.
It's been 5 days, and my ex is threatening to leave the friend group if I don't apologize. I honestly wouldn't care if he did, but some of our friends are asking me to do so to stop him from leaving. Should I cave, and am I the asshole?
I would say not the asshole. It's one of those things where revenge or success is the best revenge, right?
It really is. It really is. There's nothing that you can do to piss somebody off more than stop talking to them and get really hot.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it's tale as old as time, but it's because it's the most effective medicine that there is.
Exactly. And it works for everybody because all of a sudden you're feeling way better about yourself and everybody else is like, damn, I really fucked up, right?
Yeah, dang, doesn't she look really hot and cool and interesting and fun?
Absolutely.
What a mistake that I have made. I think it's totally normal as well for the new girlfriend to dislike the ex-girlfriend. But at the same time, I also think, like, why are y'all in the same friend group still? I just feel like...
Usually somebody gets the kids in the divorce.
Yes. Typically, it ends up, you split up. And it's unfortunate, but it has to happen. And so, like, why are you trying to spend time with him still?
Yeah, I mean, I've known very, very few people who have entered this kind of dynamic after breaking up and things have gone well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe this was an inevitable outcome to where, like, now the friend group is going to have to split in some way. But
I feel like it depends on how you broke up, too. I guess that's a valid point. Like,
well, I mean,
was it amicable?
It
or
seems
was
like
it...
they had a very clean break. It seems like they were very mature about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that there was any problem with that. And it seems like ultimately, like, things could have existed in a way where, like, they were able to continue to share this friend group and, you know, be around each other. But, like, it's really, like, who's being the asshole here? It's the new girlfriend.
I
Like,
think
why
so,
are you
too.
taking shots at this ex?
Yeah, why are you
She
taking
doesn't-
shots at somebody you don't know?
She doesn't want your man anymore. They broke up.
Yeah, it does. It is giving. It's like when people always tell people, like, oh, if somebody doesn't like you, it's just because they're jealous. I think that's not always true in this scenario. I think that's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, I think so too. And honestly, I really like the way that OP fired back.
Yeah, I think
thought that was
she
badass.
had to, because, and again, this is a scenario where we're not big proponents on calling people names, but if you call people what they actually are being and doing, if it's accurate, it bothers me less. I'll just say that, you know, if it's accurate and appropriate in the scenario, maybe you can call somebody a pygmy bitch and I'm not mad.
Yeah, and also maybe like, so I played Valorant for a while, but I didn't know this character. I'm looking at the character Viper right now.
See.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
maybe we can put it on the screen.
They're still kind of wearing a mask. Like,
it's just like a bodysuit.
Yeah, it's not even like they're showing a lot of skin or anything.
Very cool look, though. Kind of looks like Shigo.
It's very much giving Shigo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like it. I mean, absolutely not the asshole. I feel like you were just really focusing on yourself and the people would not. Also, like, the last thing I'm going to say, and then we'll move on to the comments, and there's an update for this one too.
Ooh.
But I've never been to a con. I'm not much of a con type of person.
Yeah.
I don't. The only animated things I watch are like Bob's Burgers. So they're not really at the cons. So it's not for me. But I would imagine whenever I've seen them, because Raleigh has a big con every year, that like everybody's dressed up. So like, isn't that the fun part? Why would you go to the con and not dress up? I'm confused as to why she's there.
So when I think about these cons, like, you know, Animazement is the one in Raleigh where everybody's always dressing up.
Yeah, which they all look very cool. It's very cool that people like spend that much time on like making a costume and it looks that good.
And it's even, to me, it's only gotten more and more impressive over the last like decade since like 3D printing's become like so much. Yeah, since 2016, back in my day, everybody had to make their cosplay out of cardboard boxes. Well, now we've got 3D printing everywhere, and so you can make like really cool plastic pieces for your outfit. To me, like, some people dress up and some people don't. Like, if I was going to a con like that, I'm probably not dressing up. At least not in anything elaborate, because I don't really, that's not what I want to spend my effort on.
You do like, what's it called? It's like at Disney when people sneak dress up like a princess. What is that called?
I don't know.
I'm going to try to find it. But they like Disney regulates you can't dress up because it's confusing to the children who are there. Like between them
you don't
and
want
the
to get confused with a cast member.
Yeah. So it's like, it's, I keep wanting to call it Disney Maxing. That's not what it is.
Yeah, but I know exactly. Like, I wouldn't dress up as like a character from a video game, but I'd be like 3-hole punch Jim or something like that, where it's like just a normal outfit with like one minor change.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Or they like wear a skirt that's kind of inspired or whatever, you know, like by the person. I will never be able to figure out what it is, but I will call it Disney Maxing. Like, you can do a little something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and it's definitely on the spectrum of like, people are going to be going all out, and then there's going to be people who are wearing normal street clothes, and then you've got people
somewhere
in between.
In the middle.
Yeah. So it's not weird that like this, you know, OP has like dressed up and put in all this effort, and like the new girlfriend isn't, or something like that. But it is weird to basically just like take those shots ultimately. Like, that's just totally unprovoked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably other people there who are wearing like much more like, sexually charged outfits than what we saw
Full
here.
coverage bodysuit.
Exactly.
I mean, you could go get on a surfboard in that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go deep sea diving.
Yeah. No offense to whatever your name is. It was a cool outfit. But some of the comments, like, a lot of people are in agreement. Like, I don't think that's an asshole. I feel like she shouldn't have called you that. Somebody in the comments literally said that were they expecting her not to react to being called a slut? Like, that's true. Like, I feel like if somebody...
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. Even though she didn't say that directly to her, it's clearly pointed what it was about.
Yeah,
and
she's
I
probably
feel like,
looking at her face the whole time.
Yeah, if somebody called me names, then that would upset me too. So, update though.
Update.
We have an update. Wow. I did not expect this post to blow up as much as it did. I feel like you have to say that. Everyone says that all the time. I didn't expect this TikTok to blow up.
Thanks for the gold kind, stranger.
I didn't expect this reel to blow up. Thank you for all your support, understanding, and kind comments. First of all, I want to apologize if the redaction in the original post wasn't the best. English is not their first language. Second of all, my ex left the friend group and took his new girl with him. Good riddance. After a final attempt at making me apologize, he left the chat through a long paragraph of text and a block to every single person involved. The two ex-friends who asked me to apologize to him followed suit. I'm not surprised in the slightest since they've been friends longer than they have been mine. I will admit I'm a bit heartbroken about it, but I'll get over it. Of course, my ex then DM'd me to call me an immature bitch one last time, then proceeded to block me as well. I'm honestly fine with that. Now for some clarifications on the original post. I love clarifications.
More details.
Thank you, OP.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I admit the screaming match was very immature and impolite of us. I don't want to make excuses, but after a whole day at the con, we were all tired, hungry, and very annoyed. Emotions were running high, and we behaved very immaturely. Thankfully, that particular place is used to dealing with con attendees and weren't too harsh on us. We did leave a big tip as an apology. To everyone asking if I'll post the cosplay, I am flattered, but while I believe I've become a bit more confident in my skills, I don't think I'm ready to blast it to thousands of people on the internet just yet. Just in case anyone wants to know what the screaming match scene looked like, only 5 people out of the 11 were wearing regular clothes, and the others were all in cosplay. That does make it funny. Again,
that's incredible.
Yeah, thank you all, and sorry if you are expecting a more dramatic update. I'll reach out if anything more interesting happens, though, but I doubt it.
S-tier update.
Yeah. Could you imagine all of these, like, you see, it's like a crossover episode in a restaurant where all of these characters from different places are screaming at each other.
It's probably what our 2 fantasy football teams look like when they're out on the field together.
Literally. But also, like, this was the inevitable collapse. I think this could have happened for any reason, but I don't think there was a world where the ex-boyfriend and the new girlfriend and whatever stayed in this group. I just don't think that was ever going to happen.
I mean, I think that there is a world where like people can be friends and like stay in the same friend group after breaking up, but adding in like a new partner always complicates things.
Yeah, and I don't know if they ever told us. So they broke up 8 months ago. I guess having somebody new in the 8 months is not that weird either. I feel like it's just inevitable fate.
Also, OP must have been like working hard to get like hot in 8 months. Like that's a fast turnaround.
It is a quick turnaround. Really way to switch it up. But I mean, that's great. So I'm happy. I feel like your life's going to be better now. And slay.
Yeah.
That's the end.
Period.
Period. Yes.
Well, this last one I picked because it seems like at least, because there's a part of this where I definitely think that your opinion matters.
Oh, thank you.
So, am I overreacting? I kicked out my son when he lost his home. That part doesn't have anything to do with you. Respectfully. This part does.
This is already chaos. Okay.
So for context, I have celiac disease. I get very sick when I eat gluten. My son has been struggling financially, and I send him money whenever I can. Mm-hmm. Gluten-free food is expensive, though.
Hell yeah, it is. It is like $10, $12 for a loaf of bread. It is $6 for a box of crackers. That is less crackers that are in a regular box. You are right. This is my opinion. It is so expensive. Yes.
Yeah. I could barely afford it for me, my husband, and my youngest daughters every night. Recently, my son lost his house due to missing out on payments because he recently lost his job. I offered for him to move in with me, and it's been going great. I usually don't keep my gluten-free food in a locked cabinet before he came over, but since he has a young child, I decided to lock it up.
I think that's fair.
Recently, my grandchild noticed and got upset. I gently explained that he couldn't eat it, since the food was only for me, and he started crying, saying he wanted to eat the special food. Later that night, my son confronted me about the locked up food and said I was making his child feel left out and unwelcomed.
Well, everybody else is left out and unwelcome. And you know what? Your child wanted to eat this, making me feel broke. So
I tried to explain that my food was for the next week and it was expensive, but he lectured me and didn't listen. He found the key about a week later and unlocked it and gave this kid everything. There wasn't much left since it was Saturday and I usually get a week's worth of food on Monday. I found out and got upset since I had to spend more money to eat gluten-free food, and my husband had recently got demoted, meaning we had even less funds to spend on food.
Everybody's losing all of their money.
Yeah, lots of like financial stress.
I hate
in
this.
these stories.
Yeah.
I discussed it with my husband, and we gave him an ultimatum: either he pays us back for that extra food, or we'll pay for another week at a hotel out of our savings for his family to stay there, and he's out of our house. He exploded on us, saying he has nowhere to go, nor the funds to pay us back for the food. The thing is, he had not been searching for a job the entire time he'd been staying with us. His wife and kids had been lovely towards us, and he had been the only problem. After he refused to pay us back, we told him he'd have to leave and find someone else to stay with since he was incredibly disrespectful and wasted our food. We took the money out of our savings, paid for a week at a hotel, and sent him on his way.
Just him or him and his family?
I imagine it's him and the family.
Boo, the family is catching strays. They seem lovely.
There's an edit here, so maybe there's more info there. My phone's been blowing up lately with relatives saying I overreacted and left him when he was in need. I'm starting to doubt myself now. Am I the asshole? Edit, to clear things up on the prize, I did offer to let my daughter-in-law and grandchild stay with me.
Okay, good. Wow, that's exactly what I wanted to know.
My daughter-in-law chose not to and took the child with him. There was other snacks for my grandchild, and he wasted my food and money.
Yeah, I feel like this is not really about the food. I feel like this is about other things, and the food was like the catalyst.
The tipping point.
Yeah, led to everything. But it is so expensive to eat gluten-free food, and like it sucks because things that you think should be cheap are not, because things that are cheap are typically wheat flour based.
Yeah.
You know, like bread and like biscuits and I don't know, crackers, like I mentioned. What kinds of other things? Pasta. Like all of these things that are typically cheap foods are, I don't know, $5 more for what it is.
No, absolutely. And like there was a period last year where I was having like some gut issues and I thought I might have had celiacs. And so I bought like some gluten-free foods for like a couple months. And yeah, it was more expensive.
Yeah. And
like, shockingly more expensive.
Yes, it's very surprising. So like I totally get that. If you have a bunch of people in your house and you buy things for them that they can eat. So like when my brother lives with me, I buy regular things too so he can eat them because he doesn't need to eat my copycat gluten-free version, because typically, I mean, a regular piece of bread is better, number one. Number two, it's $12 for one of these. And so, like, I buy him his regular food. He eats that. He doesn't eat mine because he doesn't want it, you know, because why would he have that? So I feel like if she's buying this specifically for herself and she's feeding everybody else, which it sounds like she is, what's the problem? Tell your son that he's not special because he can't eat the food that's in the cabinet and move on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested in, like, I guess the one thing where I think OP maybe could have handled things differently is, like, and you could definitely push back on this, but is there maybe like a chance to like get, like, the child is crying in front of you saying they want to try the food. Could you not give them like one cracker and be like, here, you can try it, but I can only share this little bit with you, right?
No, I do think that
I think there is compromise here, but I don't think that OP is the asshole at all.
I think there are other ways to handle it 100%. What I think the reaction to the overall scope of the situation, where I've been supporting you in my house, we don't have that much money. This is all really expensive already, and you're making things more expensive. You haven't been looking for a job. Like, I think all of those things are projected upon the gluten-free food. But in reality, in this scenario,
it just seems like the son's ungrateful.
Yeah. If this grandkid came up to me in this scenario and was like, I want to eat what's in the cabinet, blah, 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 I would just go and take something that he likes and put it in the cabinet and pretend to pull it out and be like, look,
Oh my
here
God,
it
that's
is.
genius.
You
Yeah.
know, because it's like, look, here it is. It's your favorite thing. And then he could eat that, you know, and we would keep it as his little special treat in there. You didn't have to give him the food anyway. It's the ultimate point. So I think it kind of spiraled out of nothing, which is why I say it's not really about the food.
No, absolutely.
Or the son's reaction to it. Or the grandson's reaction to it. It's about the son being unhelpful in every single way, to put it in a very nice term.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're down at the bottom, like, you have to be the one to pull yourself back out of it.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, like, and it's not like he's getting help from his family, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you have to be responsible for your, you know, righting the ship in a lot of ways.
Or just try. I think
Yeah.
ultimately what people want is to see you trying. Maybe you apply to 100 jobs and you don't get one.
Been
but
there,
at least
yeah.
you're trying to do it.
Exactly. Effort goes a long way.
Yeah. And if you're just doing nothing, I have no sympathy for you, respectfully.
Well, let's see if other people have sympathy here. Not overreacting. He's testing your boundaries like he was a 3-year-old. It's insane for a grown man to act like this, and I highly suspect substance abuse or severe mental illness.
I don't know about that. We have no indication that.
Yeah, I mean, that's an assumption for sure.
Yeah.
We have a gluten-free house. If he can't respect your food issues, then he can go. Those people are calling you. People who are calling you out either need to step up or shut up.
Yeah.
Not overreacting. He's a shit parent for giving in to a kid whining.
I mean,
my God.
It is true. Kids do whine, and you don't have to give in to all of them. But like, it's not the kid's fault. And like I said, this could have been dealt with the kid in a very different way. I think, to all of my things that I've had to say, I think for it to have been a gluten-free snack that broke the camel's back, I think that's a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah. I have a guess as to why he lost his job. Not overreacting.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it could be true. It seems like he has a bit of a temper and a bit of an entitlement issue.
Yeah. Well, we had some bangers this week.
We really did.
Holy shit.
We did. Everybody's exes are going crazy. Everybody's spouses are going crazy on them.
Really, the anime fight is what got me. Like that is, it's going to be a while before I get that image out of my head.
Well, maybe next time Animazement is here, you can go to a restaurant and start a fight and watch it in real life.
Did I tell you about the time I got in a knife fight at Waffle House?
No, but that sentence makes total sense. It's hard for me to imagine you in a fight, but having a knife fight at Waffle House does make sense.
Yeah, so it was actually when I was in high school. Me and some of the dudes who I played music with, we were really into the Beat It music video, Michael Jackson's Beat It music video.
Of course, who wouldn't be?
And they have like a handshake knife fight
Yes.
during the guitar solo. And me and my friends were emulating that at Waffle House with the butter knives on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And they just took the knives away.
Oh.
Actually, no, that's not true.
That was underwhelming. Nobody got stabbed.
No, actually, they didn't even take the knives away after that. But later, I was drumming on the table with the knives, and then they took the knives away.
Well, what an adventure at the Waffle House. That was probably the most normal thing they saw all night. I feel like you
You're
have to be a very
You're so
strong
right.
person to work at a Waffle House. I feel like the people who work at Waffle House should be considered for sainthood. I don't know anybody with more grace and patience than somebody who has worked at a Waffle House, particularly for an extended period of time.
Especially the
At
third
night.
shift. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So shout out to God's bravest soldiers, Waffle House employees. We support you. We love you.
We love you so much.
Yeah.
You make the world go round.
Yeah. And if your partner sucks, or your ex-partner sucks, or your kid sucks, I'd say just don't hang out with them.
Yeah.
That's the conclusion from this episode.
Hang out with us instead.
Yes, absolutely.
That's it for this dive. Thanks for being here. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at wavestream.media. And if you want a podcast like this one, or totally not like this one, visit our website, wavestream.media. See you soon.